I'm posting this from a throwaway because my girlfriend uses Reddit and will freak out if she found out I did this. My girlfriend and I have been together for 3 years. She is the best thing that ever happened to me, and I plan on marrying her. Lately, however, her rules, I call them rules, but they are more like obsessions, are driving me crazy. I know she is meticulous. I know she is particular, and I know she's a perfectionist, but I'm starting to think she has some kind of underlying OCD or something. I want you guys to read this out completely and then give me your unbiased opinions and suggestions. I don't want to lose her, but I want to keep my sanity too. If any one of you has been in a similar situation with your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouses, please take some time to give me your valuable advice in the comments so that I can be relieved I am not the only one. I'm not complaining about her, and I want to help her out, but I really need advice at this point in our relationship. Our house always has to be pristine, everything in its right place. But when I get off from work, I just want to relax and not care about the fact that I hung up my jacket on the wrong hook. If I try to help her with laundry, she gets frustrated because I hang up the wrong things at the wrong places. Apparently, shirts go in a certain place on the laundry line, and it's a disaster if they're too close to the socks. I'm not allowed barefoot outside, otherwise I have to wash my feet before I can get back into the house. I'm allowed to put my feet on the couch if I have socks or slippers, but those same socks and slippers are not allowed on the bed. Sometimes I just want to get into bed without having to put on clean socks. If a pillow so much as touches the floor, it has to be washed. But then the designated pillowcase for that particular set of sheets doesn't match, so the whole bed has to be stripped and changed. All our sheets and pillowcases are white and look exactly the same. She reminds me to pack my lunch for work every morning, which is nice and all, but she does it 4 times in a row. She tells me every morning and every night to wash and moisturize my face multiple times and makes me promise that I will remember to do it only because I passed out on the couch and forgot one time. I've told her that it bothers me when she does this. She told me that she can't help it because it just builds and builds in her mind over and over if she doesn't say anything. I'm not allowed to say goodbye to her in the mornings, only see you later because goodbye could curse one of us. I'm also not allowed to say drive safely. She is currently studying for her board exams, and she's already told me that I'm not allowed to say good luck because I will jinx her. She is extremely intelligent and graduated at the top of her class last year. I told her mom about how well she did and how proud I was of her. Later that night, she was bawling her eyes out. When I asked her what was wrong, she said that she knew I didn't mean anything by it, but if people are aware of how well she did, it means that she will do poorly in her board exams. Her mother told her whole family, who then called to congratulate her, and I felt like the worst person in the world. I feel like things are just getting worse. For example, one of the rag cloth that we used to clean the house is missing. We had a huge argument about it because she was tearing down the whole house trying to find it. I helped her look for it but gave up after 5 minutes because it was after work and I was tired. She got angry at me and accused me of not caring about our things. I told her that I do care about our things, but it's just a cloth and we can buy another one. It's just not worth the effort for me. She was freaking out, saying that it was difficult to find the cloth in that particular color, otherwise it wouldn't match with the others. I then said that it doesn't matter what color the cloths are, just that we had them, which made her really upset. It's been almost a month and we haven't replaced the cloth yet because we can't find one in the very specific color she wants. The worst thing is that I really think it affects her health. We both love to cook and often do it together. We usually spend time together drawing up a meal plan for the week, but her rules have started to make the whole process unbearable. Meal planning takes hours. Every dish that we make has to have enough vegetables. Fine, that's great, but the vegetables have to be the right vegetables for the dish. Some things can't be eaten together because they don't fit according to her. If a meal doesn't have enough of the right vegetables, she gets incredibly anxious to the point that she's nauseous and then just won't eat. She also has this thing where food can't be wasted, and then I tell her it's fine, we can just have it for leftovers for lunch, but obviously lunch is also then planned out, so she gets really stressed out and eats a small plate of vegetables while I make myself food. I know she's struggled with depression in the past and that she's on antidepressants, but this just feels like it's something more. No matter what I do to reassure her, I just feel like I'm making things worse. I've told her that she needs to see a therapist, but she told me she feels ashamed of these things and doesn't want to waste money on a therapist. I just don't know what to do anymore. So to sum it up, everything always has to be in its right place at our house, and she gets anxious when it isn't. I'm not allowed to say certain things like goodbye or good luck because it will apparently jinx her. We spend hours meal planning because every dish has to be right and only certain things can be eaten with certain things. Most of the time she stresses so much about getting enough vegetables that she gets nauseous from anxiety and just doesn't eat. I've told her that I think she needs to see a therapist, but she says it will just be a waste of money. Thanks everyone for all your helpful advice, comments, and suggestions. I will try and respond to as many as I can, but if I don't get to you, please know I appreciate the input. We had a talk last night and she agreed to go to therapy. She said she is very reluctant to go to therapy because she fears that talking about this stuff will lead to bad things happening. She told me that many of these rules are distressing to her too, but she didn't really realize they had that much of an effect on her because she was still functioning normally. She also apologized for the fact that I feel like I can't relax and said it made her very sad and that she will do what she can to make sure I am comfortable and happy. We are also currently working on some strategies that will help ease some of the burden these rules have on me. We will be getting a coat hanger so that I don't instinctively hang my coat on the first hook I see, but rather as I come in the door, which works out better for both of us. I also made dinner on my own last night since she had a study session until very late, and she was very grateful and happy. Maybe just because she was hungry lol, but it was a win in any case. The meal didn't fit together perfectly, according to her, and there weren't enough vegetables, but I said that the meal fit together perfectly in my mind and that we could double up on vegetables at the next meal. She told me that by me saying that it actually made her feel a lot less stressed about it. I really didn't think it mattered, but some people have commented how these behaviors can be culturally transmitted, so I will add that she isn't Asian or Indian. She's Caucasian, as am I. After our talk last night, she did tell me that these rules were distressing to her, but she didn't realize it affected her or me to that extent because it was just how she always was. I will definitely try and approach it as something that affects me a lot, and it's for the health of our relationship. I also think she will be more likely to go if she sees it as something for the health of our relationship, since she is very independent and has trouble asking for help, but I know she loves me and wants me to be happy too. I will look into counseling for myself as well. I will bring up the idea of keeping a journal like many of you suggested. I know she likes to write stuff down, so I think she will definitely take to doing that. I am realizing now how much anxiety it brings her when I don't follow through on these rules and that she isn't being unreasonable. We had a talk and we're working on strategies that can accommodate both of our needs. I've really come to see how much of these behaviors aren't her being unreasonable, but rather that she just can't help it. I know she is a kind person at heart, and so I never believed that she was trying to control me or anything like that, but when you're tired from work, sometimes it does get a lot to deal with. She does the knocking on wood thing too lol, and makes me knock on wood when I say certain things. I always thought it was kind of endearing. Yeah, it does sound contradictory, but she has certainly improved my life in a lot of ways. She helped me to start exercising, eat healthier, and take better care of myself and my appearance, which has increased the quality of my life in a lot of ways. But you are right, she is also affecting it in a lot of negative ways. Boards are just what we call the exams you need to write to become an attorney here. A lot of you warned me to think twice before having a kid with her. We very much want to have children, and I know she loves children, but I can see how these behaviors might become worse if we have a child in the house. I know she is on antidepressants at the moment, but maybe she needs different medications and more help through therapy. I haven't spoken to her parents yet, but I like the idea of approaching friends and family for support. I think she is on Wellbutrin or something like that. I Googled it, and it seems like it isn't good for OCD. I want to thank each and every one of you for your generous and kind responses and suggestions. They still keep pouring in, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to reply to everything, but I thought I'd do a general update as things are going downhill for our relationship, and I am exhausted now. So for the past 2 months or so, my girlfriend has suddenly had problems with heavy intrusive thoughts, and recently, like 2 weeks ago, she was diagnosed with OCD. She has had problems with addiction with pills because of this, and it has been consuming her alive. I really love her like crazy, but it's starting to take a huge toll on me. I've had problems with her going off on me on small things, and I haven't felt the same love. The thing about this is that I can't blame her at all for this because it's not her who's causing these problems, it's her OCD. I feel like I'm carrying mine and her weight, and it is causing me a lot of stress. We have plans to move to another city and work together in a company which is hiring us both luckily, and I'm afraid that's put in risk. I've been asking people what to do, and they have all told me that they don't know what to tell me anymore. And a lot of the times they are like, just be there for her, which I am, but like, what about me? What about my feelings? I completely understand that my girlfriend has it worse, but I feel so numb these days, and I'm just tired of suffering in silence. I even called up her parents and approached all these issues, but they said she was my problem now, and they had had enough of her issues and obsessions in the past, and said maybe it is genetic because her grandfather was kinda obsessed with cleanliness and hot food and no shoes inside the house and stuff like that. They were kind enough to host us for a couple of days so that they could guide me through on how to deal with her better and help her stay normal on most days. I do not want to break up with her at all. Reddit makes breakups and divorces seem like puppet play, but it doesn't work like that in real life. I just don't know what to do. I really need her and I miss her. How can I work with this? What should I do? How do I become a better boyfriend? How can I help with her OCD, and how can I help myself in this situation? My girlfriend left me. She somehow read this post while I was updating it for you guys and fell asleep. She even looked at all the comments and my replies to them and was noticeably stressed about how I was washing dirty linen in public. I tried to explain myself to her and told her that it was evident from my words that I was purely doing this to seek external help for her and our relationship, and I only had her best interests at heart. She agreed and we hugged it out, but then when I woke up this morning, she was gone. She left a note behind, and I don't know if I should feel happy or sad right now. Dear Steve, I am so sorry for making you suffer silently throughout our relationship. I was not a good girlfriend, and I don't want to be a burden to you anymore. I am going far away from you, and I would appreciate it if you don't contact me again. I took the condoms. I'll need them. Melanie.